Hello there, my fellow Americans. We have great news today. The Democrats are doing their job for the American people. It's a sad day for America, though, that Attorney General Barr was voted unanimously with all the Democrats and was voted with the nays, with the Republicans, the Democrats winning, and Barr is in contempt of Congress, the highest judicial office in the land, and America is protected for now from Russian collusion and Republican meddling and cover-ups and obfuscation in the whole Mueller investigation. But Nadler today did a fine job, and all the Democrats, of going by the Constitution. They swore an oath to protect the Constitution, which I will do when I'm elected to the United States Senate in 2022. And they did their job, and they believe that the American people deserve the right to see the full report, the full Mueller report, without the 12 pages of redactions. But we'll see what happens next with the Barr contempt of Congress, and we'll see how far this goes with the rest of the Trump administration. One thing that I've thought about that I'm afraid of is Trump's consolidation of power. There's many positions of power in his administration right now that aren't filled, so that's leaving Trump to basically do everything willy-nilly or ad hoc right now. And he's getting away with a lot of stuff. He's just putting his people wherever he wants to put them, and if they don't want to play ball, they walk away, like Mad Dog Mattis got out of there. A lot of good people have left that administration, either went to prison or they walked away. And I would like to know why they're walking away from Trump instead of supporting him. That's telling me that there's a lot more that meets the eye in this whole current Mueller probe and the whole administration. Even Trump's children in their phony cancer society, which was just taking funds and basically stealing money from poor people that were given to their cancer society. Trump's university had to pay a large fine. I mean, the list is just, it just is unbelievable that this guy is still our president. 400 law professors throughout the United States said that Trump should be basically impeached, but the only reason he's not being impeached is because he's the president of the United States. And Trump right now is trying to divert attention, I believe, to start this conflict in Iran by sending ships and B-52 bombers to Iran. He's saber-rattling right now, but the scary thing is it could be a diversionary tactic to give him more time to hide evidence, and now he's saying he wants 2 more years. 2 more years, if he gets in and changes the laws, this country will be in a lot of trouble. I would like to have Obama in 8 more years if that was the case. Let's bring Obama back and give him 8 more years, and then Trump could come back when he's passed away, in 20 more years, and then we could set his urn up there in the White House and let him argue with John McCain and Barbara Bush when they're all passed away, instead of Trump arguing with them when Trump's alive and these people aren't around to defend themselves. Thank goodness for Meghan McCain. She defended her dad. And Barbara Bush just told people what she thought of Trump. She didn't think too highly of Trump, and I could see why right now. And there's things even Nixon didn't trust Senior Bush. He said we got to watch that Bush family. There's something else with them. And we called Nixon back to get things organized with China, and he opened the doors for China for the United States, even though he was basically resigned as president with that Watergate conspiracy. And Trump right now has ruined our relationship with China lately and cost North Dakota $4 billion and the rest of the country, the farmers, billions of dollars because China has decided to buy their products from Brazil and other parts of the world. Another thing that upsets me is the CEO of General Motors just laid off 15,000 people while she gave herself a $23 million raise bonus. That's why we have problems in this country, and there's poor people living under bridges. That $23 million that one lady got could be helping people right now, going to churches, charities, homeless shelters, rehabilitation programs for people that are victims and addicts of drug and alcoholism. So you wonder why this country's messed up, because the value system needs to go into a state of refinement and brotherly love again, that has been lost since probably the Reagan era. Reagan had the largest transfer of wealth from the middle class to the 1% in the history of the United States. He was just started destroying the unions in the 80s, and unions are good, unions would protect people from this right to work state stuff, which we got in North Dakota, which is basically where the employers can pretty much write the rules up as they go or do whatever they want. They have they don't have to answer to anyone. They just basically do what they want. And then the Republicans in this state basically are the business owners in North Dakota that run the law and everything. So it's almost it's fascism here too. It's social fascism in North Dakota, and there's a lot of Republican states that have social fascism where business is basically the heads of business or the heads of government. They're double dipping, which in a lot of ways that's conflicts of interest. In Missouri, I guess they're not a right to work state. They're still they believe in unions. When we had unions, we had strong middle class, in America, and you had protection for the workers. They might pay $50 a year or a month or whatever it is, whatever union they're in, to get protection, legal protection, a right to fair hearings. You had bargaining. You could bargain with your employers. Now once you've gotten rid of the unions, there's no more collective bargaining, which only certain groups of the United States still have collective bargaining, So, but we do have a victory, Democrats. I'm wearing my blue shirt to celebrate. And all those Democrats out there, please help my campaign, Michael J. Steele for United States Senate of North Dakota in 2022. I'm running against the incumbent John Hoeven, who's he's got about $1.6 million in his war chest. I need your help. I need all the Republicans in the United States right now that are hearing my message to donate to my campaign, because I have to get literature, I have to get a tour bus, I have to pay a person to drive the tour bus, I have to get on television, I have to do commercials, newspaper ads, I have to pay a staff for my phone banking staff. I mean, there's a lot of expense in a federal senatorial election. And, Heidi Heitkamp raised $37 million and lost to Kramer. And now he's a senator in North Dakota. And it's like I was saying before, we only have 22 state Democrats representing our whole state legislature in North Dakota. have none at the federal level. We used to have Byron Dorgan, Earl Pomeroy, and Kent Conrad. Those guys got a lot of good stuff done for the state here. And they used to tax a lot of businesses, and they had a lot of good regulation, but they were actually helping build our tech sector here, and our farming and our agriculture sector here in North Dakota for years. And that has actually helped our state make a lot of wealth right now. But with the mistakes of this Trump administration and a couple of our former previous Republican leaders that were running our state, we've really kind of lost out on a lot of capitalism that we could have had here for our farmers. They could have been doing a lot better off right now with better representation. Now Trump's really hurting them with this 25% embargo on these tariffs here with China, And now China doesn't even want to come to America and have talks with Trump. They're so upset with him right now. But I'd like to thank everybody once again for tuning in, listening to me, and I'm so happy that we have a victory today. Barr, it's a sad day for America, but it's a good day for justice, and it's a good day for the Constitution. Nobody's above the law, and Congress did their job today to prove that. Even though every Democrat right now in the committee, the congressional committee that was investigating Barr, every Republican basically said he was innocent, and they decided to vote no. But thank goodness that all the Democrats had the majority in the committee today to get him for contempt of court, and we will see what follows further. We'll have to stay tuned, all of us, to find out what's going to happen with Trump and Barr and this administration. And I'm just so glad that we have a victory, we have justice, we have our Constitution is protected, and I know that there's people in Congress that are protecting our American way of life. It proved to me today. I've watched the hearings all day live, and I'm just glad to be an American. We have the safest country on earth, and I'd like to keep it that way. But we can't let the Russians come in here and take over our government and subvert it in our elections. That can't happen anymore. And there's overwhelming proof that the Russians had helped Trump get elected. That and the Ku Klux Klan, David Duke, they've taken a lot of credit for helping Trump get elected. So the Russians and the Klan, but I'm not for this electoral college either. I think, look at the popular vote, how many different outcomes we'd have had in the last 40 years. We'd have had a lot of different election outcomes. It would probably be more beneficial for the American people, I believe, because when you have Democrats and Congress running the country, taking charge and leadership, the country starts making more money, more millionaires are created. The farmers do a lot better, under the Democratic leadership. You have the Democratic DFL in Minnesota, and I mean the farmers in there have always been Democratic. I don't know why. And in North Dakota now, a lot of the farmers have decided to become Republicans. Last time in the state of North Dakota, they elected a Democrat. Was in LBJ's time. That was 1964. So we got a long way to go to bring back North Dakota. But I'm part of the Turn North Dakota Blue in 2022 team. Michael J. Steele and my cleaning crew are coming in. We're going to take over and clean up the swamp here, and we're going to just make things a lot better for working families, farmers. We're going to make sure that our military personnel are treated fairly, and I do support the troops, but I don't support bogus wars. I'm going to keep them out of harm's way, our troops, and And we got to get out of countries that don't want us there. That's I'm going to go back to the Constitution. These are sovereign countries. We are the policemen of the world, but sometimes we got to just let other countries live with their religious customs, and we stay in America with our religious customs, and because we built this country on religious freedom, and also on the Masons had a big part of building America. Bacon, Francis Bacon, had a vision and a dream that he was going to turn America into the new Atlantis, and that's basically what America is, the new Atlantis, with a scientific, secular kind of Novus Ordo Seclorum, new order of the ages, and that's kind of what we are, a scientific nation with the best government put together from all the other governments in history. We take something from the Germans, we take something from the Romans, the English, the French, the British. I'm probably missing a few, but we've taken everything from every country that worked, and we created our Constitution. If you read the Federalist Papers, you'll understand the Constitution, and that will tell you what the thoughts were behind the Constitution. The Constitution was written, but there was a lot of thought beforehand, and that's basically articulated in the Federalist Papers. So I would recommend anybody out there that really wants to know the importance of our Constitution and why it is the way it is today, read the Federalist Papers, and you'll realize what our founding fathers had envisioned for our future in America, and also George Washington didn't want us to have any encroachments with any foreign governments, and I tell you what, he's probably rolling over in his grave right now, so I'm just so happy by everybody tuned in, and it's just a great day for democracy. It's a great day for America, a sad day for our Department of Justice. It's a sad day for the office of the Attorney General, and Bob Barr. People, realize that he's not above the law. No one is, even the president. We just don't want to impeach the president right now because it's a mark against America for us. Basically, it makes us look bad to the rest of the world, and that's why they're continuing to keep Trump in there right now, because we don't want to have this blemish, But if we got to do what we got to do, we have to do what we got to do. At least Nixon, who committed half, or not even half, about 1/5 the crimes that this administration has committed. He had the guts and the smarts to resign the office, And I don't know why Trump doesn't resign. And, or Barr, or any of these guys are just trying to basically take down the ship. And the New York Times just had an article right now where Trump lost $1 billion from 1984 to 1996, I believe. He lost all kinds of money. Everything he touched turned to crap, So that's the leader that we have running the free world right now, the worst businessman in the history of America. The IRS and the Treasury Department said he lost more money in business than any other person in the history of the United States. He lost $1 billion, which basically gave him a tax deferment for 8 years where he didn't have to pay any taxes. This is just preposterous, and Trump's saying that that's how he plays the game. Yeah, it was all part of the plan. He meant to do that. Him and Pee Wee Herman, I guess. So yeah, it just blows my mind. But I'm just I'd like to articulate with you how happy I am to be an American today. It's just such a great day. We finally get some good news after all this hiding of documents and all these people in Trump's administration that are saying they're not going to testify, and all these people that Trump's given executive privilege to, and all this Yahoo bullcrappy do. We got our justice today, and people that have stood up for the Constitution. Article 1, Section 8 and 9 basically hits it in a nutshell. If you read that, that's going to tell you how Barr got in trouble. He violated a lot of our Constitution, and it's pretty clear. And you got a few Republicans I watched just kind of didn't really, to this day, I don't think they still understand the importance of the American Constitution, or they're all paid off by the Russians, which now the Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell, it's been proven that they've taken a lot of campaign funding from Russia. And I don't know what you think of that out there in cyberspace, but nobody's doing nothing about it. But I think it's a crime. That's an influence. That's conflict of interest. That's you take an oath of allegiance to the Constitution and the American people, not to money. So it's just blows my mind, the stuff we're going through. But I'm so proud of the heroes today that stood up and fought the good fight. And when I'm elected North Dakota United States Senate in 2022, I'm going to fight the good fight also. And we're not going to be bought off. I can't be bought off. There's a time in my life where if I'd have said the right words, I'd have had $11 million in my life. But I didn't want to lie. I couldn't lie, to a grand jury, so I didn't lie, and I lost out on $11 million. All I had to do was lie. You may think I'm a fool, but I think the Lord has blessed me because of that, and the Lord sees things a lot differently. I saved our country $11 million with a lawsuit that my mother had sued the government, and that's part of my history, I guess, from when I was a child. But if I'd have said the magic words, I could have had $11 million in the bank when I was a 13-year-old teenager. But I didn't say the magic words. I spoke the truth. So I wind up saving the government some money. So hopefully I could get elected and get a paycheck now. I'm looking for work. I have a small business, but I'd like to pay off my school loan debt. And if I work for the government and the United States Senate, I believe in the first year I'll be able to pay off my school loan debt. I will pay that off immediately. But I also like some of the ideas that Elizabeth Warren is coming up with, to get rid of the Electoral College. Bernie Sanders wants free college for everybody. I mean, that's a good idea, but if he's going to give free college for everybody, he might as well wipe my debt, or let me work. They should hire me as a Senate so I can work off my debt. And like I say, I'll be able to pay off my school loans the first year. So if you guys out there have a heart and you want a Democrat running North Dakota again, and you want to turn the state blue, and you were happy with your Oral Pomeroys, your Byron Dorgans, and your Kent Conrads representing North Dakota, that's the same cloth that I'm cut from, and also a little bit of Harry Truman, a little Kansas City, Missouri, democratic philosophy from my grandfathers and my father, and that was some really good democratic values they had back in, those days, and I'm still part of that group, Oh, here's my little mascot. Here's Shadow. Want to see my kitty? Hey, Shadow, look. Oh, he's ducking. Look, Shadow. I don't think he wants to be on camera. Here's Shadow. Shadow, look. There you are. See yourself? Huh? That's my little mascot. That's my little buddy. I like animals too. And when I'm elected senator of North Dakota, I'm going to make stronger laws for those that harm the elderly, children, and animals. They're going to pay severe penalties. They're not going to be walking like these police officers and these teachers and that are molesting these children, and they're not doing any prison time. They have to go to counseling and all that. That counseling won't exist no more. You know, the counseling they'll get is probably while they're in prison. They can have prison counselors in there to work with them, but there'll be no more of this getting away with all these abuses to children that's happening by our police officers that I've been reading about lately. It's just disgusting. By our clergy, that's disgusting. You know, by our examples, our people in society we're supposed to look up to, and they're harming our children, and they're not even doing any time for it. That's when you know that the end times are here, and the devil's reigning strong when things like that happen. And the devil's got his people in power in the courtrooms, and you know there's some corrupt judges, because if they're letting these pedophiles go and all these sickos, you got to think that these judges and that are just as freaky as these freaks that are hurting people here in our country, our children. So I don't think we're going to allow that to happen anymore once I get elected. But once again, like I say, it's a great day in America, a sad day for our justice system, but a great day for our Constitution and our democracy, because today we prove that no one is above the law, and we also prove that the Constitution of America still stands. And Barr has been voted by Congress, the unanimous Democratic, the Democrats all voted to convict him of contempt, and the Republicans all voted no. They wanted to let him go. So, but we have a victory for the Democrats, and we won today, and for justice, you know, for just to show these people that are arrogant and egotistical that they're not above the law, and they sure think they are. But I've watched, you know, you could watch Barr's testimony, and before, I mean, this guy act like he was the Supreme Court judge or something, like he was that powerful, you know. He was kind of right up there with the one judge guy, you know, that's very conservative, and that's kind of how he was acting, like a Supreme Court untouchable, you know, judge. But he's not a Supreme Court judge, you know. He's the Attorney General, and I'm just trying to think of a guy's name, you know, that he kind of reminds me of in the Supreme Court. I'm sure you out there watching right now know right away. I'm just a little tired. I've been watching these hearings, and my head was glued to my screen today, just watching every second, every moment of the committee hearing on the contempt of Barr, and I could see the guy's picture in my mind, and you know, he's one of their, you know, it's not John Roberts or Sandra Day, Connor, not Clarence Thomas. It's not the Kavanaugh, you know, it's the other one that's very conservative, and that's kind of, Barr kind of X reminds me of him, you know who I'm talking about. I don't want to name names, but anyway, justice served today. Another victory for the Blue Democrat team. Go Blue. Another victory for America, that we have heroes that are willing to stand up and tell the truth and defend the Constitution. They can't be bought off by Russian operatives. They can't be bought off by billionaires and millionaires. Just justice has been served. That's all I got to say. And please vote for me. Send your donations to help me turn North Dakota blue. That's my vision. in 2022. When I get elected Senate, I've got many ideas to better North Dakota, and I'll work hard every day to serve you. And I need to pay off my college loans now, and I think becoming a senator, I'll be able to do it the first year. I promise I will pay off my school loans the first year. And I'd like to thank you once again for tuning in, and God bless you, and God bless America, and thank the Democrats. I think we owe our Democratic congressmen a big hand, a big hand today for helping us and just making our day today. They did a wonderful job. They, like I say, it was a great day for justice, great day for our Constitution, but a sad day for the Attorney General of the United States. And we all seen it coming. The writing's on the wall, and it proves that Trump or Barr or no one, McConnell, Graham, no one's above the law. They may think they are, but they're not. And justice was served today. And God bless you, and God bless America, and we'll talk once again. And this was a special report by Michael J. Steele for Senate 2022 in downtown Fargo on YouTube.